We're done with the Raiders too. It's these new age cats.
All right, man, hurry up with this college football shit.
Hey, first off, watch your mouth. Second, okay, so the ex-wife of former Ohio State receiver was granted their order of protection against him. I think the dude's name was Zach Smith. Forget. But yeah. Alabama, Tua has 25 touchdowns and no fucking picks. Like, that's like an NCAA record. And it's already an Alabama single-season record for, like, touchdowns in a season. Because all Alabama quarterbacks have been trash except Kenny Stabler. So, yeah. It's going to be huge. That LSU-Alabama game in a couple weeks. Kentucky's ranked 12th in the nation. I still keep... Benny Snell's going to be nice, but he's honestly like Michael Bush 2.0 before the leg injury at Louisville.
And Bubba Bolden, can you finally talk about this? Because this has been on the rundown for like 5 weeks.
For like 3 weeks, and I kept forgetting. So former USC safety sophomore, Bubba Bolden, safety, highly ranked prospect when he came out, was at a party like in Trojan Village or whatever, got into words with some other students. And it was disrespectful back and forth. Words exchanged. He left the party. Just thought it was over. And then the student, pretty much discipline commission, suspended him for 2 years, which means he'd be suspended pretty much for the rest of his college career, as far as like his junior year, senior year. So he said, fuck that. Pretty much, he transferred. And he put out a statement on his Instagram. And the way the whole situation is being painted out, it's like he just pissed off the wrong white kid, apparently. Because I'm pretty sure there's probably some rich, spoiled white kid legacy who he probably pissed off and was on that panel. And they made, honestly, a gross miscarriage of a decision. Because a lot of people surrounding that situation, they literally started up a GoFundMe for dude. Like, not a GoFundMe, a change.org petition. I'm not even bullshitting. It was like in an hour. It was like thousands of people just retweeting and shit. So it was wrong for them to do that to him. And it seems like USC, like, there's a subculture of racism, let's be honest, especially when it comes to USC and black athletes.
I like Kenneth this season. He's calling out USC and black athletes finally.
No, I've been talking about USC and their racist bullshit that they pull. Not
as much this year.
Let's be honest.
You're doing it much more frequently now.
In the past, but now I have time. Now I have the luxury of time.
Okay.
Shout out to Pusha T.
All right, okay. Shut up.
I mean, it's true, but, like, I think that shit is whack. Like, so I get in a fight and argue with some white boys at a party, and all of a sudden, like, you want to take away, you want to suspend me for 2 years? I was drunk, but a lot of people in college, everybody in college is fucking drunk and has arguments. He didn't put his hands on nobody. Nobody was hurt. There's no allegations. Nothing. He's never been a criminal, never been in trouble with the law. But they decide to suspend him for 2 years. I would leave too. But also, like, the way they handled that situation, I think it's people really need to start calling out USC on their bullshit. You remember Armand Armstead, former...
that's what happens when you go to
a private school.
Private school.
In the hood.
Yep.
You think, oh, yeah, it's a private school in Compton in the hood. No, white people run it. So what do you think's going to happen if your little colored ass gets out of line? Sorry. They'll just replace you with another safety from next year. Or a walk-on safety. But, yeah, he's gone. And, like, Jameel Cook left.
What were you saying about Armstead, though?
Eric Armstead, he actually had a heart condition. His brother, I think, played for USC, too. He was being recruited. They were recruiting him. He just chose not to go there because how they fucking did his brother dirty. But Eric Armstead was a D tackle for USC, really good. Potentially had all American hopes and had NFL hopes. But they gave him some pills that fucked up his heart. And then he got misdiagnosed, tried to go back, ended up suing them for pretty much ruining him because they wouldn't medically clear him. So he had to pretty much transfer out and leave and ended up getting picked up by the Patriots. I don't even know if he's still in the league. I think he lasted for a couple of years, but they essentially ruined any chance he had at the pros because of what USC did. And, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. So I think you really, if you're sending your kid to USC or any school, you need to understand the inner workings of, like, let's say those athletic admissions councils, those athletic councils where, like, all the athletes, they have like a panel or some shit. Like that's almost any school has that. Like CSUN has it. Well, like they have like a council of like students who make decisions on like student athletes and things like that. So you need to understand the politics of all that, because whatever happened, whatever was said, it was enough for that kid to be blackballed out of university for no good reason. They suspended, like they literally, unless they're trying to uphold the suspension to whatever school he goes to, which is trash. Because I'm like he literally was playing in games. He was supposed to be the starter, and ever since that happened, they wouldn't let him play. So that's just trash. And honestly, we've all seen politics in sports, Pete. We know how it goes sometimes. But on that level, that's some other shit. We gotta have your boys in from Wake and Bake.
All right, are you done now? Can I talk?
Yeah, I'm done with all my comments.
You're just rambling. You're literally asking me questions and then answering them yourself. You
pretty
good?
Much. Yeah, I'm good. That's pretty much the end of all the comments.
Trying to drop 50 in 3/4.
Trying to pull a Blake Griffin.
All right, man. So, all right, let's move to touchdown and turnover. I got a couple for you. All right, man. The Jaguars have a broken offense. Is that a touchdown or a turnover?
That's a touchdown. For me, not them. They don't fucking score.
Bruh.
So they have a broken quarterback. Their offensive lineman, their best offensive lineman, tore his ACL a couple weeks ago. So Cam Robinson, by the way, out of Alabama, who the Raiders passed on. Yeah, the Raiders passed on Cam Robinson. You want to know who they took, Pete? I'll let you Google it.
Who?
I want you to Google it. I want you to find it out quietly on your own. Google who they drafted in the second round.
You're talking about this year?
No, when Cam Robinson fell to the second round to the
Was that 2 years ago?
It was the same draft as Conley.
So last year.
Who did they take in the second round?
They took
who's no longer on the team also.
Oh, Obi Malafanu.
Yep. They took Obi.
Yep.
When they could have had Cam Robinson.
That's right.
Who was like a Pro Bowl, damn near all pro at right tackle, and it was their starting left tackle. But yeah. So the Jaguars have a bunch of hurt offensive linemen. Leonard Fournette's ankle is fucked up worse than mine.
Is that the same injury you had in college?
Man, ankle injuries for a running back that size, like he probably got tackled and people just lay it on your ankle and just bludgeon it. Like it's fucked up. So
yeah, I'm gonna say it's
right.
I'm gonna say
Freeman.
I'm gonna say it's a touchdown too, but for different reasons than you.
And all the receivers are all over the place.
One, did Jacksonville ever have an offense? And two, the offense they did have
was built all around Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, which he's been hurt, and all the receivers, they basically have a whole new receiving corps this year, which Day Westbrook was like a find last year, but expecting him to be a number one receiver of a Super Bowl caliber team is a lot.
Keenan Cole's all right. They're tight ends or whatever. It's crazy to think that like Allen Robinson was one of the best receivers in the league at one point, and Allen Hurns was
his rookie year.
Yeah, like his first 3 years.
He's only been in the league like.
Allen Robinson's been in the league like 5 years, I think.
This is barely like his 5th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 3 good years.
Yeah.
And a torn ACL. But you factor in him and Allen Hurns doing nothing in Dallas. It's like, wow. They had an offense in place.
I mean, it's the same thing with Dante Moncrief. He had 1 good year, and he's fallen off since.
He's played, but he's decent for the Jaguars. But the Colts, he was good for the Colts, but Andrew Luck was hurt. So when he actually was balling out, like if he went to a team like New England, or if he went to a team like the Vikings, he'd be dope. Or if Dante Moncrief went to the Saints, oh shit, he'd be having a career year. So it's
all right, man. Next one. I've been hearing this one a lot too. You wrote this one down, but there's a conspiracy to not give Julio Jones the ball in the end zone because he is the first receiver to amass 500 receiving yards and not a single touchdown.
And he he also has like over 800 receiving yards with no touchdowns, which is like an NFL record.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen's over here just setting the fucking world on fire in Minnesota because Case Keenum's getting all the catches.
So touchdown, yes, there's a conspiracy. Turnover, no, there's no conspiracy.
Steve Sarkisian is involved, so there's definitely a conspiracy. If he's your offensive coordinator, you got a fucking problem. Yeah, because they got Ito Smith, I think out of Southern Mississippi or some shit like that. Decent backup. Freeman's on injured reserve. Coleman's just starting running back, but he's in a contract year. Calvin Ridley's doing good. They're getting the ball more to Cooper, the tight end. Sanu is pretty much just there. And they throw it to Julio to get them in a scoring position, but they don't. It's like fucking Matt Ryan doesn't know how to throw a fade route. It's amazing. And it's just disgusting, honestly. That should be a trade that should happen at this point. Trade Julio to the Raiders.
I'm gonna say it's a turnover. I don't think there's a conspiracy because I don't think you let a conspiracy keep you from a Super Bowl, aka not giving the Julio the ball more in the Super Bowl to close out that game.
Kind of like T.O. No, I'm just kidding. They actually fed T.O. the ball a lot.
They had to.
But they didn't feed him the ball enough because he had 8 catches, 9 catches. They threw it to fucking trash-ass L.J. Smith. Don't trust a Rutgers tight end ever. Name the last good one. Tim Wright was a receiver who got switched to tight end. But name the last good Rutgers tight end. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun trivial pursuit for you.
And the next one I got. Actually, all right. Let's move to take or tangent. First one up.
I feel like we're gonna. All right, go ahead.
First one. Unless you go ahead. You got one. Go ahead. Go for it.
Touchdown or turnover. So, official. Referee,
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good.
Referee was actually fired for like the first time in the modern era during the season for just blatantly fucking up and not doing their job. This referee pretty much missed a blatant false start on the Chargers' part when they threw a deep-ass touchdown against the Browns.
That won the game? That set up to win the game?
Pretty much. And the guy's name, Down Judge Hugo Cruz. He missed a clear false start in Week 6. He's been fired by the NFL.
Why he got to be Latino, though?
This is the first mid-season firing in the Super Bowl era. Yeah,
I'm gonna say this is a touchdown because apparently
Russell Okung jumped off sides heinously.
Apparently,
it was just before halftime.
I'm gonna say this is a touchdown because apparently he had missed a bunch of calls before that. In fact, he hadn't even been greenlit to officiate the postseason. Wow. The past 2 seasons, I think they said he missed the postseason.
Yo, bum dog.
So he was already under surveillance. Now, I want someone to actually go through the games he coached, find those calls, see how many of them impacted scores or games, because I'm over here yelling.
Tim Donahue,
but yeah.
Shout out to, Jeff Triplett, punk ass. The index card game. That was the beginning of the end for me as a Raiders fan. The index card game. My dude.
Versus the Cowboys, and then they finessed for Amari Cooper.
A first down. Wow,
and
fucking index card.
Amari Cooper.
Bro, index card. And like the fact that you used the fucking index card clearly showed just from geometry, if you actually fucking passed it in high school, you would know how they actually position the card. It's like, yo, that's a first down. Like if you take the card out the way, he had to fold the shit in half. He had to fold the card in half. And like, oh, there's a space in between the ball and the first down marker. Well, if you don't fucking fold it in half, then guess what? That's probably a first down. Stupid.
All right, I'm done.
I hate that guy. I hate that receiver. Fuck this guy for getting fired, too. If you're bad at your job like that, you should be fired.
So we're both applying to the NFL. That's a first. Anyways.
Oh, and another thing. Hire more females if that's the case. Now that, we're trying to ingratiate more women into football, in terms of the coaches and everything, this would be a great time to shout out. I think the one line judge is a female who's doing dope shit in the NFL, doing her job. You want to know why you don't know her name? Because she's doing her fucking job.
That's a good point. All right, man. Take her tangent time. Here we go. Eric